Well. People doubted the hype and people backed White. But, I mean, that was an incredible performance. I thought Moses Itauma looked really nervous. He was stretching, looking around. Dillian Whyte made him wait. I thought White had a chance. I wanted to see Itauma's chin tested. We saw none of the above. You know, usually Itauma's so poker face. I was like, why is he looking so nervous? I did say in my stream, just because someone looks nervous and acts nervous, it doesn't mean they're not going to bring the goods to the table. And Moses brought the goods to the table and more. Yeah. Sorry, I sound a bit like Adam Smith there. But oof. You cannot doubt Moses Itauma now. The only thing people can say is, can he take a punch? Well, the way he fights, i.e. he unloads from the first bell, makes you think he must know he can take a punch. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the most impressive performances at heavyweight I've seen. People could say, oh, White was short, he was this, that, and the other. He was up for it, he trained well, and he got destroyed. Just like Dempsey McKean got destroyed. And you say, oh, well, none of them are that good fighters, blah, blah. This is a young fighter, age 20, allegedly. Yeah? But, you know, just his... he came in a bit lighter, about 5 pounds lighter than he usually does, Itauma. And White came in light and looked in great shape. People say, oh, you lose a lot of weight. You know, it affects your chin maybe, but it's only 10 pounds for a heavyweight. It's not like, you know... it's not like, you know, Roy Jones dropping back down to light heavyweight after fighting a heavyweight and having to drop like 30 pounds. Yeah. And, you know, Itauma, you can't just look, at the result and look at Dillian Whyte's age. You have to look at the way Itauma did it. Like I said, I don't mean to repeat myself, but you saw it all today. The speed, the accuracy, the power, the southpaw stance, the confidence, the violence. And that's what you want out of a heavyweight, right? Now, you know, you can say what you want about White being old, but if you can take out an experienced ex-world title challenger who was up for it in such impressive style, I don't think White landed a punch, right? And then you have to be impressed by a 20-year-old. Yeah. And, you know, afterwards I was like, damn, I should have gone on round one. It was 9-1 because Moses knocked out so many people in the first round. But I kind of got pulled into the White's lost some weight and it's his last chance, 8-1. Oh, he might have a chance at 8-1, but I didn't really expect it. But I thought it would go a few rounds. But, you know, when you see, rewatch the fight, I would say. I've even had someone suggest it's a fix. There's no fix there, man. There's no fix there. Dillian's legs were all over the shop. Was it rightly stopped? I believe so. I believe headline fights, you should give people every chance. And the fans pay for violence and a conclusive finish. But Dillian's legs were so gone. He complained, of course, but leaning back against the ropes with his legs shuddering, you know, he doesn't really have cause for complaint. He doesn't have cause for complaint. And you know, no heavyweight has impressed me this much. I didn't see Mike Tyson, you know, growing up. I saw it retrospectively because I was too young, you know. But watching, I bought like Mike Tyson's greatest knockouts and this kind of thing. And you know, he just tore through people. But, you know, then he got to Mitch Green and went the distance. And I think Reggie Gross went the distance in a row. Now, are Dempsey McKean and Dillian Whyte comparable to Reggie Gross and James Tillis? I think probably James Tillis. Well, I mean, he had a poorer record than Dempsey McKean and Dillian Whyte, but he was a skillful fighter. And Tyson, when he tore through those guys, they were poor. The guys he tore through were poor. Yeah, he did it impressively, but not as impressively, in my opinion, as Moses Itauma. Now, all the normies and people that always think the old fighter's better will go, oh, that's nonsense, Triple B. Tyson was much, but no. Tyson did not take care of business. Apart from those two guys that went the distance. That was the weird things. It were only 6 rounders, but the Ukrainian dude and the Argentinian dude that went the distance. But I thought that Itauma didn't look in great shape in either of those fights. And I remember him being interviewed afterwards. He was like, I'm really disappointed in myself. I didn't train properly for this fight. And I'm really annoyed at myself. That was a terrible performance. So, but if you take them two fights out, and you shouldn't, but, you know, they need to be considered. But the Ukrainian guy's never been stopped despite boxing top guys. But, you know, that I don't know. I haven't seen this much speed in the heavyweight or violent power. And more than that, the footwork, the way he moves. And his punches land, they're accurate. You know, he's not missing anything. So, you know, we have a potential superstar. I hate all the over-the-top stuff. I don't want to sound like that. We have a potential superstar on our hands, don't we, Barry? But in this case, we do. What do I want to see next? Well, some people say he'll fight Ergovic, Giga Chad, who was on the bill, who looked a lot fitter than usual. But he was cut badly. He beat up Adelaide and won on points, but... and dropped him in 8 rounds, but he couldn't stop him. But Ergovic has got a great chin. He's not that big a puncher, despite his KO ratio, but he cuts a lot. I think Itauma would bash up Ergovic. I really do. And I love the Giga Chad, you know. And he'd probably... So what if Itauma bashes up Ergovic, does he take his women? I don't know. But, so Ergovic, good fight. Daniel Dubum would be a good fight. At least Dubum can punch. We've still yet to see Itauma fight, take a shot, sorry. But that's not his fault. Why should he take a shot? You know, I'd rather knock everyone out in the first round, not take a single shot, than have to test my chin. Dubum would be a decent fight. Will we see it? Well, Fisheyes... Itauma's a Fisheyes fighter, right? So it's possible. My favourite fight, though, Usyk, well, it's a bit early. I wouldn't like... To be honest, I want to see Usyk retire undefeated. I mean, he's a former middleweight, albeit as an amateur. But, you know, and he's hard to hit. But Itauma's faster and hits harder and is a natural heavyweight. That's a very dangerous fight for Usyk. I like Joe Parker fight, great fight. I like to see him fight Joe Parker. Joe Parker would be a good fight. The one I really want to see, though, is Moses Enrico Itauma vs Fabio Wardley. Two guys who can punch. I think Itauma's the harder puncher, though. Two guys who can punch and who've got speed. And they go for it with the violence. There's no messing around with those two. It'd probably end in 1 or 2 rounds, and I would lean towards Itauma. And not because of the stupid white-collar background of Fabio. Just, you know, that's just nonsense. Fabio is a genuine contender. It's just that I just think Itauma's got the edge in accuracy and violence and power and speed too. That would be the ideal fight. I would be prepared. I wouldn't want to pay a lot. I wouldn't want to pay 25 quid pay-per-view. But would I pay £15 pay-per-view? If the undercard was reasonable, yeah, I would. That's the fight to make. Fabio Wardley vs Moses Itauma. I think they may both be trained by Ben Gavison, but which is going to be a problem. But if the money's there, believe me, nothing else counts. Unfortunately, in this sick world, nothing else counts but money. And so I'd like to hear from the fans. Who do you want to see Itauma fight next? Do you really rate him? I really do. And I've always rated him. I did a video before he turned pro. I just, you know, I was a bit disappointed about the 2 distance fights. But that, you know, and you can say what you want about Whyte being old and shot, but that was exceptionally impressive. Very impressive. And we'll see what happens next. Yeah. Put in the comments who'd like to see Itauma fight next. Like I said, some people say Gilles Jean. I think Jean probably too old. Caballel, I think that's too early. Caballel's very good. Like I said, Fabio Wardley for me, or Daniel Dubum. These are the fights that I'd like to see next for Moses Itauma. Peace in the Middle East.